Alright, hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. So we are going to work on trigonometry graphs, past papers today. And the previous video I discussed the basic concepts of trigonometric graphs. Alright, so in this graph you can clearly see that there are 2 points, 0, 2 and 150, 0. So y is equals to k sine theta plus alpha. Let's input both the points. This is the value of theta, so it's going to be 0 plus alpha. Alright, now you know 0 upon k is 0. And sine inverse 0, it are 3 values. Since it's the second point where it's coming at 0, so I'm going to consider 180. Now put in alpha as 30. Let's move on to the next question. Once again, we have 2 points, that is alright, y is equals to under root 3 is equals to a plus tan b into 0. Tan 0 is a 0, so value of a is under root 3. Plug the other value in. A value is under root 3. Tan inverse under root 3 is at 60 degrees. And the next time it occurs is going to be at 180 degrees. So I'll consider it as minus 60 because it's minus 60 is going to be minus pi by 3. Why am I considering minus pi by 3? Because tan is alpha and negative alpha. You can see it's the negative where it's coming on the x-axis. Let's consider these type of questions. These are not graph questions, but you should know how to do them. The acute angle x radians. Acute means you are in the first quadrant. Okay, so tan is x is equals to opposite upon hypotenuse. So the value of k will be opposite and hypotenuse will be 1 because the denominator is 1. So if I make a triangle, this is using Pythagoras theorem is going to be, now tan 90 minus x. Now you need to understand remember the identities. Tan x is equals to 1 upon tan 90 minus x. So if you want to find out tan 90 minus x is going to be 1 upon tan x. Now, you already have tan x, which is k, so 1 upon tan x is going to be 1 upon k. Okay, my bad, I took it as pi minus x is 180. So, pi 90 is a pi by 2. This is the answer for the second one, 1 upon k. Now, tan x is equals to minus tan 180 minus x. 180 क्या होता है? Pi होता है. So whatever the value of tan is, if you multiply it with a negative sign, you get the value of tan pi minus x. So it's k, so this will become minus k. Now for sine x is opposite upon, my bad again, this was opposite upon adjacent. So opposite is k, adjacent is 1. Find out the hypotenuse. Now sine is opposite upon hypotenuse, k upon k square plus 1. The reflex angle. Reflex means that you are in the third or you're in the fourth quadrant. But the cos is positive. Cos is positive in fourth quadrant. That means we are in the fourth quadrant and we'll be using the signs of the fourth quadrant. Now cos theta is adjacent upon hypotenuse, which is k upon 1. So if I draw a triangle for this one, adjacent is k and 1. So this will become 1 minus k square the whole under root. Now sine theta is opposite upon hypotenuse. But the sign is going to be negative because cosine is negative in the fourth quadrant. Tan is going to be opposite upon adjacent. And the sign with tan will also be negative. Now explain why sine 2 theta is negative. देखो 2 theta का मतलब ये होता है if you are in this particular angle, 2 theta means you are going over the entire rotation and coming back to this particular quadrant. So in this quadrant, whenever you come in, your sign is going to be negative. I hope it makes sense. Alright, sketch the curve y is equals to 2 sine x. Very easy. It is from 0 to 2 pi, so I'll use the 0 to pi values. Zero, 2, 0, minus 2, and then 0 again. By adding a suitable straight line, so we have already drawn 2 sine x. Moving this particular pi value to the other side, it will become this is my straight line because 2 sine x is equals to y. Now, let's suppose value of x is 0, so y is 1. When the value of x is pi, the value of y is 0. When it's pi, it is 0. When it's 0, it is 1. Let's draw a straight line out of it. Okay. Now the next thing is state the equation as a straight line. Determine the number of real roots. Real roots means intersection points. 1, 2, 3. 3 real roots is my answer. And the equation of the straight line is this. That's it. Okay. Now we have to sketch on the same diagram, but you can see For this one, the step size is going to be 90, 45 degrees. And for this one, it's going to be 90 degrees. I'm using degrees, but when I'll do the graph, I'll use pi because the question expects us to do it in pi. Alright, the battery is dead. Just give me 2 minutes. Now, the other intervals are pi by 4. 3 pi by 4, 5 pi by 4, the next one is 5 pi by 4, then 7 pi by 4. Okay, when I do sine 2x, it's going to be 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 0. 1, 0, minus 1, and then 0 again. The purple graph is of sine 2x. Now for cos x, what I will do is, it's cos x minus 1. The values are going to be 0, then it's a minus 1, then it's a minus 2, minus 1, and then again a 0. So the graph will look like this. Okay. Now, they're saying find the solutions of this. Solutions ke liye, you know, this is the graph that you've drawn. And if you move everything to the other side, this is what you will get. This is 1 and this is minus 1. I often don't label the y-axis. You should, ideally. So this is y is equals to minus half. Let's draw a line of y is equals to minus half. Minus half is going to be here. Now look at the solutions with the sine graph. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now sine 2x is equals to cos x minus 1 if I move these two on the other side. So these are two graphs that you've already drawn. Let's look at the solutions of these two graphs. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, let's look at one more type of question now. Where the graphs have been given and you have to find out the amplitude and stuff. Okay. What is A? A is the amplitude here. So the amplitude, how do you find out the amplitude? It's maximum minus minimum divided by 2. 9 minus 1 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the value of A is 4. Midpoint is the value of C, which is the false axis here. So that's going to be maximum plus minimum divided by 2. I have not discussed this in the previous lecture, so I'm using the question to do it. 9 plus 1 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5, which is my value of C. Now B gives you the frequency. How many cycles of cos in 1? 1, 2, 3. So the value of B is going to be 3. So these are my answers. And these are the formulas that I need to know. Okay? Alright, now given that 6 sine 2x, state the period. The period is always 360 divided by frequency. Frequency here is 2, so 360 divided by 2, the period is 180 degrees. The amplitude is always the coefficient of a sine trigonometric function, which is 6 here in this case. This is an easy question, but I wanted to discuss the concepts through an easy question. Okay. This again, the sine graph, you have to find out the value. Okay. So if you look at this sine, this is a half sine graph drawn. And I know that pi may half sine hai, so in 2 pi it's going to be full sine. That means the value of p is 1. Now, this is the middle value of the graph, right? So we are going 3 units up. So we will go 3 units down. So the amplitude is going to be 3, which is the value of m. And 2 is the middle point, so k is 2. So you should also be able to do without using the formulas. Now again, write down the amplitude is 5, period is 360, which is 2 pi divided by 3. That's it. One last question before we end the session. Very simple. In 180 degrees, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 cycles. Wow. So in 180 degrees, there are 4 cycles of cos. So in 360 degrees, there will be 8 cycles. So 360 divided by 8 is going to be 45 degrees is the period. And my frequency is B is going to be 8. Now what is the value of A? Maximum minus minimum divided by 2. So value of A is 3. Maximum plus minimum divided by 2. So the value of C is 7. For here the period is 5 and so the period is going to be 360 divided by 3. So that's going to be 120 degrees. Amplitude is going to be 5.